Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our breaking free from subconscious patterns that are keeping you stuck without years of therapy. My name is Gab, and today we are going to explore our root cause healing method. So if you're here, you probably responded to an ad. So I've had a few conversations on the phone with some of you, and we have a lot planned for today. There's going to be a lot of information that I'm going to be sharing with every single one of you. Before we begin, I would really curious to see in the chat. Type in the chat, where are you joining us from? What part of the country? What country are you from? Where are you joining? What time is it where you are at? We have some folks on the East Coast. We have some folks on the West Coast. If you can, type it in the chat now. Where are you calling from? Where are you joining us from? And while that is happening, okay, I'm seeing Rainbow from Portland, Sarah from Colorado, Beth from Pennsylvania, Susan from Missouri, Jamie from Massachusetts. All right. Okay, we have folks in Colorado, Detroit, California. Diva, good to see you. Teresa from Stillwater, Oklahoma, and Precious from Georgia. And it's 1 p.m. over there. Well, welcome everyone. I'm very excited that you're all here. Very happy to be able to help you and support you. So just give you a rundown, a little bit of like housekeeping, what's going to happen today. Over the next hour or so, I'm going to introduce some concepts to you. It's going to be very educational based. I'm going to explain hypnosis. We're going to talk about yoga, mindfulness. We're going to talk about the reasons why you've been feeling stuck in your life. And if you're here, odds are that you have read books, watched videos, you've done trainings, maybe you've spent years and years in therapy, or maybe you've done other things to work on yourself and improve yourself. And after all of that work, you still feel stuck. You feel like you haven't really progressed, like you've been on a hamster wheel of sorts. Today, we're going to talk about why that is the case. Why do you feel stuck? And what is the process, the method that we believe is the most effective method for being able to break free from those cycles and really take ownership of our life. And we're going to talk about that later on in today's class. At the end, stick around until the end. My partner Serenity is going to be helping us as well. She might send some links your way. So keep a shout out for that. Keep a lookout for that. And a couple of more housekeepings. I see a lot of people still coming in from the chats. Just understand that this is a space for growth. This is a space to learn. You're here to receive information that is going to change your life. This is not a space for self-promotion. This is not a space for you to promote your own things. If we see any of that, we're gonna kindly ask you to leave. And same thing with, this is not a space to attack anybody on the chat or anything like that. So if you're here to judge or criticize, or if you're here because of any other reason other than the fact that you want to learn how to make a radical change in your life, then this is your opportunity to log off and hop off the call right now because this is not for you. However, if you are the kind of person that is curious, that is interested in really taking ownership of their life and ownership of their healing and ownership of the things that have happened to them, then you're exactly who we want to talk to. All right? Now, before we begin, let's take a moment just to ground down. So at home, if you can, silence your phones. And I want you to make the conscious choice to be here for the next 60 minutes or so. I want you to take a moment to close your eyes if you can, and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold the breath in at the top. 3, 2, 1, and exhale, release. Now, yogis, we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhaling through the nose, expanding your belly, your chest, your throat. Hold the breath in. And making some noise this time on the breath out. One more time. Deep breath, deep breath in through the nose. Inhale, expanding belly, chest, throat. Hold it. Maybe this time you inhale a little bit more. And now, like you're blowing through a straw, slowly through the mouth. Keep exhaling more and more and more. Let it all go. letting go of any doubt, letting go of any tension in your body, in your jaw, in your low back, all the way out. Beautiful. Now, as we move through today's class, very likely that there's going to be some questions that are going to come up for you. My ask is that you write those questions down or save them until the end. Also, for those of you that are joining us on your laptop, you should be able to see at the bottom of your screen a little Q&A section. That's going to be the place for you to ask questions, because after our presentation, at the end when we start our Q&A session, I'm going to start tackling those questions, but we're going to save those questions until the end, okay? And then welcome George, Lamar, Teresa, Precious, and more folks that just joined us. Great. Now, before we can get started talking about hypnosis, talking about mindfulness, talking about trauma and all these different things, it's very important that we have a shared understanding of these definitions. What are we talking about? Okay, so let me open up here. So let's talk about hypnosis, right? First of all, hypnosis is a return to inner authority through focused awareness, not mind control. See, oftentimes we think about hypnosis and we think about movies and things that we've seen in shows, and we think that maybe if someone's able to be hypnotized, they're really weak-willed or weak-minded, and that could not be further from the truth. Some of the highest performing athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, really people that are world-class at what they do, almost every single one of them attribute their success to hypnosis and hypnotherapy. See, hypnosis is our capacity to regain our focus. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like and practice some skills that are going to be able to help you do that as well, okay? Now let's talk about yoga. What is yoga? Yoga is the science of inner union and freedom, not stretching and workouts. Very, very common for people to think that yoga is just about stretching and breathing or getting sweaty in a room with a bunch of strangers. And that cannot be further from the truth. Asana, which is the physical practice of yoga postures, is just one tiny fraction of what the science of yoga is. The science of yoga is one that allows us to experience liberation in this life and allows us to understand ourselves more fully. So that's what we mean by yoga. We're talking about the highest aspect of yoga. And if we talk about what that is in our school, we'll mention that towards the end as well. Let's talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is radical presence, our capacity to be with the moment-to-moment life as it arrives, not just awareness of our breath. You see, anything that you've experienced, our capacity to enjoy anything in this life, is directly correlated to our ability to be present, to be fully in the experience. So, mindfulness is the skill that we use to be able to enhance our capacity to love and to enjoy our lives from the moment to moment. Now, let's talk about healing, right? You've heard that word, it's another buzzword, right? Healing. What is healing? Healing is a return to wholeness, not fixing what is broken. See, in Buddhism, the idea is that you're not broken. There is nothing that could possibly be broken. The only thing that we have is things that have clouded our vision. You've more than likely experienced trauma, moments, difficult moments and challenges in your life that have left imprints in your life. And how you live your life is the result of the actions that we take from those imprints. We're going to talk about ways in which we're able to understand healing, and instead of being something that we're chasing after, something that we can experience in the here and now. Okay? And then next, we have the subconscious. So this is a word that we're going to use a lot for today's session and in the coming months when we start working together. The subconscious. The subconscious is the secret key to your new life, not just your inner world. You see, a mistake that we often make when we think about our healing journey is that we think about our lives from a conscious perspective. We think that if only we take more action, we do more yoga, meditate more, drink more water, exercise, we think about a laundry list of things that we're not doing or ways in which we're not good enough. And we try to tackle our problems from this conscious mind, this logical mind that's trying to fix things and add things to our schedules. And at the end of the day, this is not something that works because if the subconscious mind, which is most of your life, isn't on board with the conscious actions that you're taking, we're going to continue to perpetuate these cycles. So one of our teachers shared with us the idea that in life, we want to find alignment between our thoughts, our words, and our actions. If there's a disconnect between those things, between the thoughts that you have, the words that you say, and the actions that you take in your life, you're going to suffer. How many of you, and you can say me in the chat, if you know what you're supposed to do, you know that you need to drink water, you know that you need to exercise, you know that you should probably avoid that type of relationship or this kind of job, but yet you find yourself perpetuating these cycles over and over and over again. Or maybe it's not you, maybe you know someone as well that has been experiencing that. So type in me in the chat. Type in me in the chat if you feel like, man, I've just been living the last 6 months on repeat over and over again. We have no one, just have a bunch of enlightened yogis today. Rad. Okay, cool. Precious, thank you for being honest. Jacob, yeah, totally. We've all experienced that. And to be honest, y'all, like I'm there from time to time as well, right? It's about taking radical ownership of our lives, but being honest with ourselves. You know, sometimes we can know something consciously. We know that we need to make a change, and just knowing that is not enough for us to create lasting change. Okay? So what we're going to talk about is how do we break that cycle? How do we make that lasting change? So let's go here to our little iceberg, okay? I'm not Salvador Dali yet, but this is the best that I could come up with, okay? So we have here an iceberg. Now, if you've seen movies or if you've had the privilege of going and seeing an iceberg in person, you know that what you see above the surface is not the entire iceberg. Type it in the chat. What is it that we see, right? So if this is the iceberg and this little blue line is the water, what is it that we see poking from the water? What part of the iceberg do we see? Type it in the chat. When we see an iceberg, what is the part of the iceberg that we see? The tip. Yeah, exactly. The tip. We just see the bare top, but most of the iceberg lies where? Where does most of the iceberg lie? Underneath. Yes, exactly. It's beneath the surface. In this scenario, the iceberg is our conscious mind. And our conscious mind is only 5% of our lives. Our conscious mind is the mind that we use to make plans, to journal. It's the mind that helps us plan for the future. It's the mind that helps us go from point A to point B. It's the mind that told you that you had this meeting today, that audited to your calendar, that made the space, that created all the things for you to physically be here right now. This might blow your mind, but that aspect of your mind only dictates 5% of your life. Our subconscious mind, on the other hand, is 95% of your life. 95% of who you are, the decisions that you make, the choices that you will make from this day moving forward are not going to be things that you will consciously do. These will be things that will be dictated by subconscious programming, patterns that exist below your level of awareness. Why is that? Why is it that our subconscious mind, something that is below our awareness, how could that possibly be 95% of who we are? I'm going to show you. Our subconscious mind is the mind that is in charge of our beliefs, our emotions, and our nervous system. So, if you have a belief that is formed from past trauma, that is going to cause certain emotions. And those emotions are going to have an effect on your nervous system. This string of elements that the subconscious mind controls is going to dictate the kinds of choices that you make, the risk that you take, the relationships that you decide to do, your daily habits. These are all going to be informed by this, your beliefs, your emotions, and ultimately your nervous system, how you feel when you take certain actions. Okay, so here's another way of illustrating this. If you've had a backyard, if you've ever mowed a lawn, you know that in the backyard, there's more than just grass, right? So let's say we have a little bit of grass over here, right? Some grass, So your grass is growing, but there's something else that grows in the backyard. What is what is something that grows in your backyard that we're not super stoked about, we're not very happy about, but that keeps growing every single week? Weeds. Thank you, Precious. Exactly, weeds. So these weeds, right, they're also growing in your backyard and they're kind of pokey and it doesn't look nice and they stick out like a sore thumb, right? Now the weeds also have roots. Okay, so we're going to draw over here some roots for our weeds. Bam. All right. So you see these weeds growing in your backyard and you say to yourself, man, I don't want to have these weeds in my backyard anymore. So you grab your lawnmower or you hire someone and then you mow the lawn and then bam, great. Now you've mowed the lawn, but then what happens? What happens a week later after you mow the lawn? What happens to the weeds? Type it in the chat. What happens after we mow the lawn a week later? Yes, exactly. The weeds grow back. Why do the weeds grow back? Why do we think that is? Why is it that the weeds grow back after we mow the lawn? Any guesses? Exactly. Yeah, we've taken care of the weeds, we've removed the weeds, but we never took care of the roots. The roots stayed the same. This is what happens when we decide to tackle problems in our life consciously. Let's say you've gained 20 pounds and you want to lose those 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. You hire a personal trainer. You go to the gym every day. You lift the weights. You take care of your diet. You do all the things that the trainer tells you to do. You lose the weight. And then what happens 6 months later? You get into a car accident. Boyfriend breaks up with you. The economy does what the economy does. What happens? We gain all that weight back. And the reason for that is that while the trainer knows how to help you get rid of the weeds, the trainer is not equipped to help you address why did you gain the weight in the first place? What led you to gain those 20, 30, 40 pounds? Same thing when it comes to our trauma. What most people do when they experience difficult emotions or when they have a hard time in their life is that they go to a therapist and then they talk about their trauma and they sit in the chair and they relive that trauma over and over and over again. And oftentimes, what happens? We're taking care of the weeds. We understand, wow, this thing happened to me when I was a child, or my relationship with my parents is affecting me in this specific way. And because we're not going to the root and experiencing the root and removing the root from its source, we are consistently living in this pattern where we mow the lawn and then the weeds grow back. Same thing with our relationships, right? We can break a bad toxic relationship, we can get a divorce, but then if we don't address the things that led us to be in that relationship in the first place, what happens? More often than not, you end up attracting that same person. Say yes in the chat if you have a friend or if you've known of a friend that has in their life maybe dated someone that was very toxic or just someone that was not good for them and she just can't see it. She's completely oblivious to that. And then let's say she breaks up with this person and then a few days later or a month later or a year later, she's dating someone that is exactly the same. And then when you tell her, hey girl, like this is kind of the same pattern that you were experiencing before, they're just completely oblivious to it. I'm saying a lot of yes, yeses, yes, yes. Yes, me in the past. Yeah, totally. The reason for that is because we haven't addressed the reason why we find ourselves in these patterns. That friend has not had the opportunity to be able to address that at the root. So what we do at our school that's a little bit different is that instead of just tackling the things at the surface, we have a method, a specific process for helping you go to the roots of these problems. And guess what? Once you've addressed the roots, now you have the space to be able to plant exactly what it is that you want to experience. Now that we have the space where normally weeds would be growing, now from that space, we can start creating the life of our dreams. Because we've removed all of the other obstacles. Instead of spending so much energy week after week trimming the top and trimming the weeds, you remove the roots once, and guess what? We don't have to keep reliving that trauma. We don't have to keep addressing that over and over again. Here is a secret that completely changed my life. And if you could understand just one thing from today's session, is this. When you address your trauma at the root, lasting healing happens in moments, not years. When you address your trauma at its root, lasting healing happens in moments, not years. So, another way of illustrating this, just so we understand, like, what are we talking about, and how is this pattern having a massive impact on your life? Okay, you have more than likely, if you're a human being that experiences emotions, you have probably experienced trauma, right? We experience trauma in this life. Now, this trauma creates your beliefs. Okay, so the trauma creates beliefs. Okay, bam. So this trauma creates your belief systems. Maybe your parents, your mom or your dad told you that you weren't good enough, or that getting B's is unacceptable, that if you want to live in this house, you need to get straight A's all the time, right? So now you believe that, okay, if I get anything other than an A, if I'm anything less than perfect, it's not good enough. That belief causes an emotion. That belief creates our emotional states. Emotion. All right. That belief creates an emotion. The emotion, the feelings that you feel, the hurt, the depression, the anxiety, stress, this need to want to get it right every single time. This is a trauma response that comes from a belief that either you're not good enough, or, again, like anything less than an A is just unacceptable. Yes? This emotion leads us to, can anybody guess? What does the emotion lead us to? From emotions, where do we go? If you had to take a guess, type it in the chat. What do you think it is that the emotion leads us to? Yeah, behaviors. In this case, we're going to call this actions. Yes, Becky, you were right on it. Actions. Actions. All of our actions are determined by our emotional states. All of our actions are determined by our emotional states. These actions, and sometimes it's not even the actions, maybe it's the lack of an action. Procrastination is also a trauma response. And when we take actions from these emotions, as they're caused by our beliefs, it reinforces the trauma. So for example, if you experience something in your childhood and someone said to you that you are lazy, and you believe yourself to be lazy, and you grow up your whole life, man, I'm just so lazy. And then you get to a space in your life where you need to take action, and you just don't feel like it. And you decide not to, and you wait, and you don't take action. And then you suffer the consequences of that lack of action. Guess what? Then what happens here is you say, oh, yeah, Dad was right. I'm just so lazy. Or, Mrs. Jones in third grade class, like, she's totally right. And then now we're caught in this pattern of reinforcing this loop over and over and over again. This is why it's so important to be able to break these patterns. And if we don't do this through the subconscious mind, we're just doomed to repeat that over and over and over again. Okay? Say yes if this is landing. Is this making sense, y'all? Is this sinking in? Type in yes in the chat if this is making sense to you. Yeah, of course. Now, again, we can understand this consciously, but if we don't understand it from the subconscious, we're doomed to repeat these patterns. So, in just a moment, what we're going to do is I'm going to guide you all through an experience. And this is going to be an experience that's going to allow you to really feel what it is like, to be able to see what happens. What happens if we take one path, and this path leads us to repeating these same patterns over and over and over again. And then I'm going to guide you through a practice, through a session today, where we get to experience and connect with the highest version of ourselves. What happens when we break free from these patterns and start living the life that we know is possible? Now, fair warning, in order for this to work, normally when I do sessions with our lead clients, I charge $10,000 to be able to work with people one-on-one, because when you work with someone one-on-one, I'm able to see you on the screen, or you come here to our retreat center and we do very in-depth work. And I'm able to see exactly just how deep you're going. Since we are doing a group session today, really it's going to be on you to fully give it your all, to give yourself permission to follow along, and to give more than anything else, to feel every single thing that I'm going to share with you. So can we, raise our hands right now and commit ourselves to going all out, to getting the best out of this experience, to really doing the best that we can to be able to finally break free from these patterns? Yes? I'm seeing some hands raised. Jacob is ready. All right, let's go, y'all. So let me stop sharing my screen. First thing you're going to do is I want you to find a comfortable space for you to sit. And ideally, you can still hear me really clearly from wherever you are. So get nice and comfy. I'm gonna do the same thing. Give me 1 second while I adjust myself here. And as you find your seat, you want to turn off your notifications on your phone. So you want to make sure that your notifications are off, that there's not gonna be any dings or bells or anything like that. I want you to get really, really comfortable. So you can lay down, you can sit back. If you have a tendency to fall asleep, then I would encourage you to sit up. You could also sit against a wall. I find that that's very helpful. And if you have tight hips or any problems with your knees, you want your hips to be above your knees. And in just a moment, I'm going to guide you through an experience. And before we commence that journey, I have no way of knowing just how deep you're going to go. I have no way of knowing just how profound this transformation is going to be for you. But what I do know is that the more and more you listen to the sounds that are coming out from my mouth, the more and more you give yourself permission to be guided by this experience, and the more and more you feel the sensations that are going to arise in your body, the easier and easier it's going to be able to shed these old patterns and to have an experience that allows you to have a massive breakthrough today. All right. So friends, let's start today by closing our eyes. I want you to close your eyes. And as you begin to settle into your chair, as you begin to settle into this now moment, take a second to notice what it feels like. Notice what it feels like to have a body. As you settle into the sensation of sitting in a chair, of experiencing what it is like, close the eyes and breathe. I want you to become aware of the sounds in your room. Before these sounds may have been distracting, today, right now, anytime you hear a sound, these sounds are going to help you go deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. As you continue to relax, more and more. Your body becoming perfectly still, and your mind becoming wide awake, able to listen and hear everything that I am saying, able to follow along easily, with little effort, because we're now ready to permanently let go of procrastination and to take action now and follow through. Now, for today's hypnosis meditation, we're going to work on stopping procrastination and learning how to take action towards your goal. With your eyes closed as you listen to my words, there are only two reasons why we procrastinate and lose motivation. We're either not experiencing enough pain, or we are not experiencing enough pleasure to get us excited to take action. Let me give you some examples. Maybe you've been procrastinating on some goals or specific task, and you tell yourself that all the reasons why you can't do it. You tell yourself things like, I don't know how to do it, or I don't have the time, I'm too tired, I'm afraid to fail. You have all these reasons why you can't achieve your goals. And now, let's say someone said that if you don't get this project done, you're going to die. Someone has a gun to your head and they say, you need to do this now. What happens to all of those reasons why you can't? All those reasons would go out the window, and somehow you would find it within you to get that task done. And we do this because the potential of dying far exceeds the pain of taking action. And we find a way. Now, on the flip side of that, the other reason why we procrastinate is because we don't experience the pleasure that we would gain from taking the actions that we need to take in our life. So as an example, if I told you right now, I would give you $100,000 this month to finally get started on your book, on that task, on cleaning your room, of emptying the dishwasher, whatever it is that you're doing or that you've been procrastinating on. Suddenly, you would be very motivated to get that thing done, wouldn't you? So what we're going to work on today is learning how to experience the pain of not taking action and rewiring your subconscious mind to experience the pleasure that you will get from actually following through. This is going to have a profound and lasting impact in your life. So, coming back to the sensations of the body, coming back to what it is that you want to create for yourself. I'm going to start by asking you a series of questions. And the answers that you come up with, I want you to use that during this guided video. First question is, what big picture thing have you been putting off? You've been delaying, not taking action. Take a moment to bring that thing to the forefront of your mind. If at any point you feel lost or you're having a hard time, then I want you to simply repeat the question and ask your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind, what big picture thing have I been putting on? Have I been delaying? Notice the answer that comes to you. Moment. Now the second question. What are some reasons why you've been putting this off? Think of all the reasons why you've been putting off getting started with that thing that you know you're meant to be doing this time. Take a moment to find those reasons now. Next question, yogis. What have you missed out on in the past as a result? What are you currently unhappy with in your life because you have not taken action on that task? As you think about the things that you've missed out on in this life, I want you to think about how it's affecting all areas of your life: your health, your wealth, relationships, the freedom that you do or do not have as a result of that. Now I want you to ask yourself, what is the biggest fear that you have when it comes to taking action? What is the biggest fear that you have when it comes to not doing this task? What will happen if you continue to not follow through? Take a moment to bring those things into your mind. All right. Now, yogis, I want you to think about what are the things that get you excited to move forward in life? What are the things that get you excited? That bring joy? Even the idea of them bring you joy. What kind of lifestyle do you want to create for yourself? Okay. And now, getting started with our session. If you haven't already, I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes and look up towards your third eye. So imagine looking up towards the ceiling with your eyes closed. I want you to get nice and relaxed. Just allow yourself to go deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. With every breath in, you feel this air expanding your body like we did earlier, belly, chest, and throat. And with the breath out, feel yourself softening into space. Do that a few more times. Every inhale, hearing the sound of your breath. What does it sound like to breathe wherever you are? And with each exhale, notice what it sounds like for the air to exit your body. As you keep breathing in this way, notice what it feels like to be perfectly relaxed. Staring into the darkness behind your eyes. Allow this natural process of breathing to release any tension from your muscles, from your body, from your entire body. As you're sitting there, listening to my voice with your eyes closed, breathing in and out of your lungs, your subconscious mind is going to be open now to go on a journey. As we go through this journey, you will hear my voice the entire time. And remember, it's important to allow yourself and make yourself feel the feelings I'm about to describe to you. Now, you have been procrastinating on your goals and dreams for far too long. You've been allowing yourself to be controlled by fears and limiting beliefs. Fear of failure, fear of others' opinions, fear of success. You find yourself saying things like, I don't know how. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I want you to think about how long you have been procrastinating and allowing yourself to be controlled by fears and limiting beliefs. Think about everything that you have missed out on because of it. Think about the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that you've left on the table. You will never get back. How have these limiting beliefs affected your relationships? Romantic relationships, friendships, relationship with your family. How have these limiting beliefs affected your health? Your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. Constantly feeling stressed out and overwhelmed because you've been allowing yourself to be controlled by these fears and limiting beliefs. I want you now to feel the pain of your decisions to remain the same. Feel the frustration, the anxiety that you feel by continuing to live in this way. Now, let's come to the present moment in time. I want you to think about everything that you are unhappy with in your life because you've been procrastinating for far too long. Really sit and think about how unhappy you have been with your finances, with your freedom, with your body, relationships, whatever is true for you. Give yourself permission to think of those things now. You are unhappy with these areas of life because of your past procrastination. Feel the pain of your decision to remain the same. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I count to 5, we're going to go out to the 5-year mark. 5 years of continuing to allow yourself to be controlled by these fears and limiting beliefs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5 more years of continuing down the low and easy road. 5 more years of allowing yourself to be controlled by these irrational fears and limiting beliefs. Take a look at your life. How much have you missed out on these past 5 years? How many opportunities have you lost these past 5 years? How have your decisions to remain the same affected your relationships? How has this affected your health? Feel the pain, sadness, and frustration of remaining the same. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I count to 5, we're going to go out to the 10-year mark. 10 years of continuing to allow yourself to be controlled by these fears and limiting beliefs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you are. After 10 more years, 10 years of continuing down the low and easy road, 10 more years of allowing yourself to be controlled by these irrational fears and limiting beliefs. 10 more years of not living to your fullest potential. Look at yourself in the mirror 10 years from today. Although only 10 years have gone by, it looks like 20 years have gone by because of all of the stress and anxiety you've put yourself through by procrastinating. How have these limiting beliefs affected your relationships? How has this affected your finances? How has this past decade affected your health? Feel the pain of your decision to remain the same. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 all the way up to 5. When I count to 5, we're going to go out to the last few days of your life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you are, lying in your hospital bed with only a few days left to live. You can see the hospital room. You can hear the beeping of machines as you lie on your deathbed. You begin to reflect back on your life. You can smell that disgusting hospital smell. The smell of sickness. The smell of sadness. The smell of death. And as you are lying in your hospital bed, reflecting back on your life, you think about everything that you've missed out on because of these irrational fears and limiting beliefs. You think about the opportunities you've missed out on traveling, the adventures that you never got to experience, the freedom you never had because you were stuck in the same cycle of procrastination over and over again. All the promises you broke to yourself and your loved ones. As you reflect back on your life now, feel a deep sense of pain. Now, feel a deep sense of regret because there is nothing you can do about it, and it is too late. I want you to imagine that your current self is standing in a hospital room with your future self that took the easy way out. You are standing in this room and you can see the sadness in your face. You see the look of pain and regret in your eyes. I want you to look at your future self in the eyes. Look deep within your soul. And I want you to make a promise to your future self. Make a promise that no matter what, as long as it is legal, moral, ethical, and it aligns with your values, that no matter what, you will not go down this path. Make a promise that you will take action now and follow through on your goals and dreams. Make that promise right here, right now. In a moment, I'm going to count back from 5 all the way down to 1. And when I count back to 1, you'll be back in the here and now. Still keeping your eyes closed. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're back in the here and now. The good news is none of that has happened yet, and it doesn't have to. I want you to go ahead and get nice and comfortable. Relax your mind, relax your body. We're going to relax even deeper. I want you to scan your body for any feelings of fear, anxiety, and limitations. Scan your body for these feelings from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And as you notice where you are holding on to these feelings of fear, anxiety, and limitation, go ahead and take a deep breath in and hold. it. And as you breathe out, release all the fear, anxiety, and limitation. That's right. I want you to scan your body for any feelings of hurt, sadness, or depression. Scan your body from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And as you notice where you are storing these feelings of hurt, sadness, or depression, go ahead, take a deep breath in and hold it. And as you breathe out, release the hurt, sadness, and depression. I want you to scan your body now for any feelings of anger, frustration, and resentment. Scan your body from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. As you notice where you're holding on to these feelings of anger, frustration, and resentment, go ahead and take a deep breath in and hold it. And as you breathe out, release all of your anger, frustration, and resentment. Doing one last scan of your body for feelings of guilt, shame, and regret. Scan your body from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toe. And as you notice where you're holding on to these feelings of guilt, shame, and regret, go ahead, take a deep breath in and hold it. And as you breathe out, release all of your guilt, shame, and regret. And now just allow your breathing to return to normal as you go deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. As you're sitting there, listening to my voice, with your eyes closed, breathing in and out of your lungs, your subconscious mind is now open to go on a journey down the path of success. A lot of people think that the best version of themselves is somewhere off in the future. They think, when I make a certain amount of money, that's when I'll be the best version of myself. When I have a specific friendship or relationship, that's when I'll be the best version of myself. They think, when I look a certain way, that's when I'll be the best version of myself. But you can actually be the best version of yourself right here, right now. You can be the best version of yourself who is confident and has courage. You can be the best version of yourself who takes action on your goals and dreams. You can be the best version of yourself that breaks through all fear and limiting beliefs and creates the life that you want, knowing you are a success. I want you to pretend or imagine you are the best version of yourself at this moment. Feel the energy and confidence enveloping your entire body. And if you're having any trouble visualizing, that is okay. I want you to imagine you now feel energy and confidence to take action now and follow through on your goals and dreams. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I count to 5, we're going to go through the 1-year mark when you take action now and follow through on your goals and dreams. And remember, the most important part is that you feel the feelings that I described to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you are. 1 year of success. 1 year of keeping your promises and commitments to yourself. What is your life like 1 year from today? How has your decision to take action now and follow through improved every aspect of your life? Imagine 1 year from today making more money than you ever have made in your entire life. What does this allow you to do? Feel the abundance flowing through you. How has your decision to take action now and follow through improved your relationships, your romantic relationships, your relationship with your family, your friendships, the network of people that you surround yourself by? And most importantly, how has this improved your relationship with yourself? How has your decision to take action now and follow through affected your mental health, your physical health, and emotional health? Imagine the lifestyle that you have created for yourself. Now, feel excited. Now, feel motivated. Now, feel certain to take action now and follow through on the path to success. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I count to 5, I want you to go out to the 5-year mark. 5 years on the path of success. And this time, I want you to amplify those feelings by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you are. 5 years of successes. 5 years of building your dream life. Who have you become 5 years from today? Imagine living in your dream home, a beautiful neighborhood. Imagine traveling wherever you want. Imagine the adventures that you're going to have with yourself and your loved ones. How much success have you created for yourself and for others? What are your relationships like 5 years from today? Who are the network of people you are surrounded by? Imagine 5 years from today being in the best shape of your life. In mind, body, spirit. Now, feel excited. Now, feel motivated. Now, feel certain to take action now and follow through on the path of success. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I count to 5, you're going to go out to the 10-year mark. 10 years of going down the path of success. This time, I want you to amplify those feelings by 100 and really give it everything you've got for this moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you are. 10 years of success. 10 years of abundance in every aspect of your life. Who have you become 10 years from today? How many people's lives have you touched along the way? People you know now, and people you haven't even met yet. Imagine all of the fun and adventures you've had along the way. Feel the feelings of happiness, love, gratitude, appreciation. Now, I want you to imagine that your current self is standing in the room with your future, highest, most healed, successful version of yourself. This healthiest, most confident, loving, and caring version of yourself. As you're standing in the room with your higher self, your authentic self, I want you to notice how you carry yourself. Notice how you walk, how you talk, your facial expressions, body language, the energy and aura that you are projecting all around you. Now, I want you to ask the future most successful version of yourself, what do I need to do right now to quickly become this version of myself? I'd like your subconscious mind to download all the learnings, all the ideas, all the behaviors that you are implementing now. Take a moment to thank your future self for all of these insights and learnings. I want you to look deep at your future self in your eyes. Look deep into your soul. And I want you to make a promise to your higher self. I want you to make a promise that no matter what, as long as it is legal, moral, ethical, and aligns with your values, that no matter what challenges or obstacles come along the way, that you will keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Look at yourself in the eyes and make that promise right here, right now. That's right. Now, I want you to imagine as if your future self is getting closer and closer to you. As they get closer and closer, you feel the energy and confidence emanating from your body. As your higher self gets closer and closer, I want you to imagine that your higher self is stepping into your body. Feel the integration taking place at the deepest level of your being. Feel yourself coming into alignment with your higher self in this moment. Feel every cell of your being, every fiber of your being is now vibrating at a higher frequency. Your higher self in this moment is now you, your authentic self. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 all the way up to 5. When I count to 5, your eyes will open. You'll be fully alert, feeling fantastic in every single way. Starting with 1. You are now an inspiration to yourself and others. 2. You have a strong sense of certainty and wonderful feelings of looking ahead. 3. Feeling and knowing that your time here today has been one of the best investments of your life. 4. Ready to go out and take action now on your goals and dream. And 5. Eyes open, fully alert, feeling fantastic in every single All right, yogis, coming back to this space. Little wiggles through the fingers and toes. Maybe you find yourself stretching with your arms overhead. Big good morning stretch. All right. Welcome back. I'd love to hear from you. What was that experience like? How are we feeling right now, gang? Type it in the chat. What did you experience? Anything that you'd like to share. Now is the time. Okay, so Ibrahim, one of the best performance music video. That's so funny. Thank you for sharing, brother. Looks like Rainbow had to leave a little bit early. Rainbow, if you're watching the recording, I hope you're able to continue with the high road all the way through. All right, everyone. So what we just experienced was the experience of really seeing what it is like to feel the pain and to feel the pleasure of taking action and following through. A lot of emotions from Beth, so many tears and anger and happiness profoundly felt. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for sharing that. Precious said, thank you. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Susan said, thank you as well. Of course, you know, what we resist persists. And if we don't create a framework to feel safe enough to feel what happens when we don't take action, we'll just continue this pattern of procrastination. And this hypnosis session, while it's very powerful, it's part of a longer protocol that I guide my students and my private clients through that allows us to fully integrate those changes, right? If we've removed the roots, to remove the roots, sometimes there's little remnants there. So we have to go even deeper. And that is something that is not possible to do in a group setting because it takes a really amount of time and emotional depth to be able to build the trust necessary to go into very specific nuances of all the things that you've experienced. So with that being said, let's see, let's check here in the chat. Hope replaces hopelessness. Thank you. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much, Dan. I'm really glad to hear that. I felt the love for myself for the first time in my life. Wow, that's beautiful. And think about this, everyone. This was only one session. We've been together for a little over an hour, but the hypnosis session was maybe 30 minutes. Imagine, what would it feel like for us to do this kind of work together for an extended period of time? Type in yes in the chat if you feel like this would change your life, if you were able to continue to revisit this. Not just this specific session, but a process that helped you finally be able to understand all the things that you've experienced. To find exactly what specific limiting beliefs you are experiencing and how to be able to rewire that and recontextualize our relationship with that. So this is exactly what it is that we do with our school. We tackle things through multiple layers. Our root cause healing method is not just hypnotherapy. That is just one layer of it. We also help you develop physical practices of yoga, physical practices that help you in having an embodied experience of these realizations. Because if we spend too much time here reading books, watching seminars and webinars, and watching videos and consuming information, we can understand our trauma and address it here. But if we're not taking care of our bodies, we're going to still suffer. So another way of thinking about this, everyone, is your body is like the computer. It's the physical hardware. Your conscious mind is the display. When you click on an app and the app pops up on the screen, you're not really seeing the app. You're seeing flashes of images and light. The software, the operating software that helps us run the computer, that's our subconscious mind. In order for us to be able to make lasting changes in our life, we have to change all of these aspects of ourselves. Because without the software, the computer is just a giant paperweight. And with only a display but no software, we're just getting a still image. So this is a way to find a full aspect of integration into the healing that we've done. And it complements work that you may have done already in therapy, in your courses, in your life experiences, in your spiritual traditions. At Yoga Mārga School, we don't promote a specific tradition or viewpoint, but we actually help you to discover your path of yoga, your path to understanding yourself more fully. So I'm seeing a few of you folks, sharing your emails and seeming like you're getting a really good time. With your permission, I know that we have gone a little over time. We have about 10 minutes left. Is it okay for me to share with you an opportunity to be able to learn more? And maybe, perhaps, for those of you that are serious, an opportunity to actually book a time with me so that we can do a one-on-one session. Say yes in the chat if it would be okay for me to share a little bit more about what we do and how you can stay in touch with our school and learn a little bit more about what we do. Would that be okay if we did that? Getting a yes from Cindy. I see an email from Dan. Yes from Beth. Okay. Yes, exactly, Thomas. The flow of energy embodied in us makes real life. Exactly. Now imagine if that embodiment was something that was aligned with the vision that you have for yourself. Okay, beautiful. So let's do this, everyone, because we don't have a lot of time. I have so much more that I wanted to share with each and every one of you. And time is of the essence. So for those of you that are ready, you know for a fact that you're ready to get started. You know for a fact that you're one of the people that said yes just now. And you know that you want to learn more. You know that you want to take action and follow through, and you want to learn how to be able to make a lasting change. If that is you, I want you to pay attention and focus right now. If you've raised your hand and you said yes, I want you to grab your phone right now. And I want you to get your phone and your camera ready. So there is something that I do for high achievers and spiritual seekers. I've also worked with CEOs, business owners. I've also worked with athletes in the past. And I do what's called a private strategy session. And this strategy session is what we call a healing breakthrough session. Now, this session is typically $497 a month. This session, I've never had anyone ask for a refund before. And what we do in this session is we go through exactly what are the limitations that you've been dealing with, what are the obstacles that you've been facing, the challenges that you've had, and we create a specific strategy, a customized strategy for you moving forward that addresses your physical body, your emotional body, and also addresses any mental afflictions in a hypnotic process that helps you clear all of those things. Now, normally that session, like I mentioned, is $497 for just a single session. And obviously we have costs in our school, but more than that, we are very excited about working with people that are serious and that are committed. So with your permission, I'm going to share a little gift for some of you. For the first 8 people that sign up, you will not pay $497. If you do exactly what I'm about to show you, you're going to pay $0. This root cause breakthrough session is going to be completely free. And all you have to do is follow and be able to meet this following criteria. So if you're ready to take action and prioritize your healing in private or in a group capacity, if you're able to get started right away. So if you have something coming up and you're not going to be able to really take this training seriously, if you're not going to be able to actually take advantage and work on yourself for the next 4 to 6 months, then this is not for you. But if you are willing to work with me and you want to work together to open your heart and receive guidance, and you're prepared to invest in yourself, then today that healing session is going to be completely free. All you have to do is take out your phone, scan this QR code, or you can go to yogamārga.school/strategy call. In it, once you scan this code, I'm going to also share with you a link here in the chat for those of you that don't have access to your phone. Stand by 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in the chat as well for those of you that are interested. Book a call. The first 8 people will pay $0 for that private breakthrough strategy session. And this is what it's going to look like. It's going to show you my calendar. In the calendar, you're going to pick a time. You're going to put your name, last name, email, phone number. Very important, everyone. Please put what you're looking to speak about specifically. What are some of the challenges that you've been facing that you want to address that's just going to help us in our session together? And then from there, you're going to get an email with your name on it, and it's going to say your name, Yoga Mārga School. And then what I need you to do is I need you to click here where it says yes in your email. And then what that's going to do, it's going to create a calendar booking link for you. Now, I don't have a lot of spots. I need to update this slide, but it's not May 5th. We basically have slots for the next 4 days available. After that, I unfortunately will not be able to work with everyone. We have exactly 8 spots available for me to be able to work with people one-on-one. After that, I just cannot stretch my calendar enough. Besides just doing private hypnotherapy, Serenity and I, we have a yoga school, we do teacher trainings and certifications and courses and retreats. So there's just a lot happening. I'm not going to be able to work. There's about 185 people that registered for today's session. So I'm only going to have space, unfortunately, to work with 8 of you. And more than likely, it'll probably come down to just the first 5 that sign up. But if you decide, if you're one of the first 8 people to book a call, you won't have to pay for that strategy session. And whether we decide to work together or not, in that strategy session, I'm going to share with you specific tools and techniques that are going to be able to help you get started. Okay? Thomas says he's all in. Can you put the code back real quick? Yes, of course. Here, let me pull this code. Let me pull this up for you right now. Let me put the code up here so that all of you that are interested, that are serious, can book a call so we can schedule that session. Now, for some of you, maybe you're saying to yourself, maybe you don't follow the criteria. Maybe you know that you want to get help, but you're afraid that you're not going to be able to invest in yourself after that call. So type me in the chat. Type me in the chat if you're concerned that maybe money would keep you from being able to invest in helping yourself. Yeah, Becky. Becky says that she's concerned. Me. Okay. All right. I understand. Every single person that's coming to this call has a different background, is coming from a different experience. If I shared with you all a link so that you can join our school and not have to make a massive investment financially, but still be able to get support with your yoga practice, your meditation practice, and for us to be able to continue to do group sessions together, specifically meditation and hypnosis sessions. Is that something that you would be interested in? Type in yes in the chat if you'd be interested in continuing to work, not just with me, but with some of my teachers, to learn from some of our students who have graduated now and have started leading classes. And if more than just your own personal work, you're also excited about joining another community, a community of yogis from all over the world that are actively working on improving themselves with the ancient practices of yoga and the modern tools of hypnosis. Okay, I'm seeing some yeses. Cool. So for those of you, save the link. I'm going to share another screen. I've got too many screens, y'all. 1 second. So what we have going on at Yoga Mārga is this. So this is another option that we've created for folks that would like to be able to work with others and would like to really take their yoga practice seriously and elevate what that looks like. So imagine sunrise yoga sessions, yogic healing experiences, hypnotherapy, in-person retreats, introspective group classes, and each day knowing that you're working further and further towards implementing these 3 areas of your life: your physical body, your mental body, and the quality of your relationships. If you're interested, you can join our Yoga Mārga School platform. So in the Yoga Mārga School platform, you can ask questions 24/7. You can get feedback on anything that you're working on. You can make lifelong friendships and get emotional support whenever you feel frustrated. So just a quick look of what the Yoga Mārga platform looks like. It works on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, live classes. This is just a screenshot of our community board where you can share insights. You can meet other students. This is a private community where we practice yoga. You have access to our wisdom library. So we have literally thousands and thousands of hours of pre-recorded classes, yoga classes, philosophy discussions. All of these things are available there. And you're able to stay connected with an exclusive community of fellow trainees, alumni, mentors, other yoga teachers that are wanting to learn more and maybe even elevate their yoga practice so that they can run their own retreats, start their own communities. We give you access to lots of information to be able to go through that. Don't have a lot of time to break that down, but this is just a list of some of the modules that we do. We talk about philosophy, asana, the physical practice, anatomy, pranayama. Some people spend thousands of dollars just for a breathwork course. We include that in our membership. You also get to learn not just from me and Serenity, the founder of our school, but you get to learn from our teachers. Reverend Dr. Jungmei Park, who's the Archbishop of the Taego Zen Buddhist Order, Dr. Frank Tedesco, Dr. Chris Miller. These are all mentors that come to our school and have done lectures, and we are deeply connected with Loyola Marymount University as well. So we have professors and teachers from different traditions that come to our school and actually give lectures. And all of that is included with your membership as well. So if you're ready to get started for that, I'm going to send you a link for that as well. And one second. But if you haven't, again, book the call. We'll give you some more information. And one second. I need like 4 more arms, everyone. Okay. Here's the link to join our school. I'm also going to make sure if you've signed up for this event, I'm going to make sure that you get an email with some of this information as well. Our school community, it's only $297. That's it. $297 for a month of access to all of this information that we've covered before. And if you look in the chat, it's right there. You go to school.com/yogamarga/about. School is an online platform where we host all of our trainings, our live trainings. We also have live classes happening almost every single day from 7 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. So if you haven't already, please sign up. And then one more time, I will share my screen with the link to book the call. So for those of you, again, that are ready to get started, book a call. Book the call now. And then from there, we will help you with whatever it is that you have going on. Again, those first eight people to book a call will get that complimentary breakthrough session completely free. There's no cost to that. Typically, it's a $400 session, $497, but right now it is a complimentary for the first 8 people that booked a call. There's only about 4 days left for that, and then after that, it'll just be back to the standard price. So I'm going to leave this here for those of you that want to book that call, and now I will address, I know we're a little bit over time, that's on me, it can be a little long-winded, but I'm going to go ahead and start tackling some of these questions. So I'm seeing here a question from George Hodak. What is your subconscious in relation to your, or superconscious in relation to your subconscious? Great question. The superconscious, some people would have a different definition for this, but there's the idea that same thing as our higher self, our higher mind. The superconscious is also the consciousness that's connected to, in some traditions, the belief that there is a higher mind that is connected to all minds, right? So in Hinduism, it might be your the Atman, or in other traditions, it might be God, or the universe, or the Akashic records. So there's so many different names for this, but there's essentially the subconscious mind, which is the mind that operates. It's like our software, right? So remember the analogy that we used before with the computer. Our bodies are the computer. Our subconscious mind is the software. The superconscious would be like the internet. It is the mind that connects all the minds, that connects all the computers together. That's what the superconscious would be. Here we have some questions from Ibrahim. Ibrahim, brother, you put a lot of messages in my Q&A. Meditations and chair yoga. Yes, we offer meditations and chair yoga at our school. Okay. All right, so I'm not seeing any other questions in the Q&A section. Let me look at the chat. Okay. Do you offer scholarships by chance? I'm on disability and funds are not available. Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for asking that question. We have offered scholarships in the past for folks that have either have disabilities or a need, or folks that need scholarships. Right now, we have um, all of the scholarships that we have awarded for our teacher training programs and for our certification courses have been given. However, go ahead and book the call. If you're worried about finances, but you know that you need this help, and we can find a way to work with you. We also, in the discovery call and in the breakthrough session that I'm going to do with you, I'm going to share some resources that are going to be completely free, that are going to be able to help you wherever you are. So we'll definitely work with you. We never want money to be the thing that keeps someone from getting the help that they need. So whether it's with our school, or maybe I can refer you to one of my friends or somebody else, we're going to make sure that you get whatever it is that you need, whatever it is that I can do to help you. I'll make sure that you get some access. Any other questions? So now is the time for questions. A lot of you were asking for the links. I've shared the links in the chat. Please check the chat. I shared the link for our strategy call, and then I shared the link for our online community as well. I'm booked, but how do I know if I'm one of the 8 people? If you booked your call and you didn't have a checkout link for you to have to put your credit card information and pay, congratulations. That means that you were one of the 8 people. So there you are. You made it, Amanda. Good job. Okay, and Jacob, I need help with my mental health. Yeah, brother, if you haven't booked a call already, then that I'd love to talk about what that looks like for you, and how we can help support you with that. Sweet. Yeah, so congratulations, Jacob has booked a call. Amanda also got the free scholarship, the free session. Anybody else? Check out the link. If you don't see a checkout link, if there's not an option for you to have to use your credit card to pay, that means that there is still time for you to book that call and get the free rate for the breakthrough session. Otherwise, it'll not be that. So cool. Any other questions, anyone? Do we have any other questions as it relates to our session, hypnosis, yoga, anything else that I can address before we turn off for today? All right. I'm not seeing any questions. Really, really excited, really grateful for your time and your attention. Let's take a moment to bring our hands to prayer by our heart. Closing the eyes, yogis, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to seal this practice together by chanting Om, Om, the sacred sound of the universe, Om. Deep breath in to prepare for your chant. Hands to your third eye. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the realms be happy, be free, and today may our thoughts, our words, and our actions fall into perfect alignment for our collective liberation. And gently bow, and we give thanks today to all of our teachers, all of the teachers that have come before, and all the teachers that will come after. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May the merits of everything that we've learned today be for the benefit of all sentient beings. I wish you an excellent, excellent day. If you'd like to learn more, again, really, really excited to speak with you. I will see you very, very soon, friends. Hope you have an excellent day. Please take care. Bye-bye.